So during my time with God this week, while I was just praying, spending time with Him, worshiping Him, whatever, it's different every day, He led me to Psalm 2. And I've read the Psalms, but I'm not like super familiar about what each one was or is. And I found it interesting what He led me to read in light of everything going on in the world. So I'm going to read it first, and then I'm just going to kind of talk about it a little bit. And I encourage you to read it yourself too. So I'm reading from the NLT. It's a Life Application Bible. Most translations are good. That's for another video, but we're just going to read Psalm 2 right now. It says, "Why are the nations so angry? Why do they waste their time with futile plans? The kings of the earth prepare for battle. The rulers plot together against the Lord and against His anointed one. Let us break their chains," they cry. "Free ourselves from the slavery to God." But the one who rules in heaven laughs. The Lord scoffs at them. Then in anger He rebukes them, terrifying them with His fierce fury. For the Lord declares, "I have placed my chosen king on the throne in Jerusalem, on my holy mountain." The king proclaims the Lord's decree. "The Lord said to me, 'You are my son. Today I have become your father. Only ask, and I will give you the nations as your inheritance. You will break them with an iron rod and smash them like clay pots.' Now then, you kings, act wisely. Be warned, you rulers of the earth. Serve the Lord with reverent fear and rejoice with trembling. Submit to God's royal Son, or He will become angry, and you will be destroyed in the midst of all your activities. For His anger flares up in an instant. But what a joy for those who take refuge in Him." So, from my perspective, and what I felt like God was showing me, is that we have one King. His name is Jesus. Yes, there are rulers all over, but Jesus is our King. And I say this in light of everything going on, because there's a lot going on in the world. For some, it could be scary. For others, it's exciting. I've seen a lot of videos on Revelation and the end times, and I'm not as learned in that area, so I'm not going to touch on that. But what I am going to touch on, and I know this without a shadow of a doubt, is that Jesus is our King. And I want to encourage you to focus on Him. Focus on God. Focus on the Word. Focus on prayer. Focus on worshiping Him. And just wherever you stand politically, it doesn't matter. Jesus is our King. And I know within the church, there are so many political parties and all of those different things. And I'm not going to touch on that necessarily. What I am going to touch on is Jesus as our King. And what we are to do as Christians, how do I respond to this? Is I pray for our leaders. Whether I agree with them or not, I pray for the communistic leaders. I pray for all of our leaders. Because what it says in the Bible is that Jesus sent His only begotten Son, that whoever believes in Him shall not perish. But this is for the whole world. The whole world. God is not willing that any shall perish. So I encourage you this week, moving forward, read the Word, pray for our leaders, pray for our families, pray for those that don't know Him yet, and just keep it in perspective. Jesus is our King. We worship Him alone. And as a quick reminder, you are loved, you are cherished, and you are redeemed. Have a good week. Bye.